starts with a simple phrase you say every single day, "I'm fine." But that one word, fine, is a lie. It's the most complex, most dishonest, and most dangerous word in your whole vocabulary. It is the full stop at the end of a sentence that should have been a screaming paragraph. I want you to picture this. You're standing in a room. The lights are off, the roof is caving in, and the walls are covered in cracks. But you don't call a repairman. You don't even acknowledge the damage. Instead, you hold up one finger, you smile, and you say, "Just a little dust. Everything is under control." This video is not about people who are just having a bad day. This is about the deep, exhausting psychology of the person who has perfected the art of performance. The person who is a 7 out of 10 on the outside when they are a complete 0 on the inside. If you have ever felt like your entire life is an elaborate stage play and you are the main actor who can never break character, this is the most important video you will ever watch. We're going to name this invisible pain, trace it back to where it started, and show you the one simple thing you can do to finally stop acting. Let's start with the name. Psychologists call this a form of emotional masking or a perfectionistic coping mechanism. It's not a weakness. It's a genius-level survival strategy that you learned as a kid. And what saved you then is now slowly suffocating the real you. The origin story of the mask. You didn't decide one morning to start pretending. The mask was given to you, not chosen by you. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was the family's gold star. Her grades were perfect, her room was neat, and she never caused a problem. When she was 9, her parents went through a brutal divorce. She saw the stress turn her mother into someone she didn't recognize. And in that moment, she made a silent promise. "I will never be one more thing my mother has to worry about." So Sarah stopped crying. She stopped having problems. She became her mother's silent support system. She performed happiness so convincingly that her mother often praised her. "Thank God you're so strong, Sarah. You're the one thing I don't have to worry about." That praise felt like love. That is the moment the pattern set in. She learned that her problems were a burden, but her performance was a gift that earned love. In adulthood, Sarah became the person who organizes the office parties, helps everyone move, and is always the friend you call in a crisis. But if you call her and ask how she's doing, she gives you the script. "Oh, you know, busy, but fine." Her biggest fear is not failure. Her biggest fear is being needy. She is still 9 years old, terrified of becoming a burden to the people she loves. This isn't just a story about Sarah. This is about you. You see, the brain makes a simple calculation. Pain plus silence equals safety. If your childhood home had too much chaos, you became the quiet one. If it had too much emotional need, you became the competent one. The adult manifestation, the price of fine. This pattern follows you. It doesn't disappear when you turn 18. It just gets a better costume. The psychological toll of constantly being fine shows up in 3 devastating ways. First, you become hypervigilant. You are constantly scanning the emotional weather of every room you walk into. You know who is angry, who is stressed, and who needs a distraction, often before they even know it themselves. You are an emotional detective, but you are a neglected patient. You are so busy reading other people's emotional scripts that you don't even know what your own feelings are. This is why you feel utterly drained after a social event, even if you were just having fun. You weren't having fun. You were working. Second, you develop an allergy to rest. Meet Mark. Mark is a successful entrepreneur. He works 16-hour days and manages every single detail of his company. He is the definition of having it all together. But if he has to sit down and watch a movie on a Sunday, he gets anxious. He calls this feeling boredom, but what it really is terror. In childhood, Mark grew up feeling like he had to earn his right to exist. If he wasn't producing, he wasn't valuable. If he wasn't doing, he was just taking up space. So his adult mind confuses stillness with worthlessness. The moment he stops moving, the terrifying feeling of being useless creeps in, so he instantly jumps back onto the treadmill of work. If this sounds like you, if the thought of a completely empty weekend fills you with dread, it's not ambition. It's a trauma response. It's the constant need to prove your value through performance. You are addicted to busyness because busyness is the ultimate proof that you are valuable and not a problem. If any of this is hitting you hard right now, I want you to know you are not alone. And the fact that you clicked on this video and are still watching means you are ready to put the mask down. That is a massive act of courage, and I want you to honor that. If you find this level of deep, validated insight helpful in understanding yourself and your journey, please consider taking a moment to subscribe to the channel. Hitting that button is a small act, but it helps us reach more people who are ready to take off their masks and start their own healing journey. Third, and perhaps most damaging, you suffer from emotional delayed reaction. This is what happens when the dam breaks. You're the friend who can handle a major crisis, a friend's breakdown, a job loss, a family emergency with ice-cold professionalism. You are the rock. You don't cry, you don't panic, you just solve. But 2 months later, you shatter over something trivial, a dropped cup of coffee, a late bus, a rude comment. Why? Because the body and mind only permit you to feel the big scary feelings when the threat is gone and the stage is empty. The little things give you permission to finally fall apart because they feel safe enough to handle the resulting flood. I have a third story about Alex. Alex went through an awful, drawn-out breakup. For 6 months, he handled all the finances, the moving out, the division of their life, all with a polite smile. He was the picture of maturity. Everyone told him how well he was handling it. Then, one Tuesday, his internet went out. Not for a day, just for 3 hours. And Alex didn't just get mad. He threw his phone across the room and spent an hour sobbing under his desk. That 3-hour outage wasn't the problem. It was the safe, small button that finally let 6 months of suppressed grief explode. The solution: from performing to existing. So, how do you take the mask off when it's been superglued to your face for 30 years? The solution isn't to start crying in public immediately. The solution is to change your internal definition of strong. Right now, your definition of strong is, I can handle anything and I need nothing. We need to flip that. The new definition of strong is, I can be honest about what I'm feeling and I am worthy of support. This is the hardest and most essential work. It involves the small, daily practice of lowering the mask. Start small. Instead of saying, I'm fine, use a more honest 2-word sentence. I'm tired. I'm okay. No, not fine, but okay, a subtle shift to more neutral truth. Or, I'm managing. This is the key. When someone asks you how you are, you don't owe them a performance. You owe yourself honesty. You are the only person you should be trying to impress, and the most impressive thing you can do is tell the truth about your own state. No one is coming to save the competent performing adult. You are the one who must go back and save the struggling child who had to become that adult. The first step to healing is not to fix your life. It is to give yourself the acknowledgement you never received. It is to say to yourself, it makes
perfect sense that I feel this way. It makes sense that I am tired. I had to carry so much. And now I can finally put it down. If this message resonated with you on a deep level and you are ready to continue this journey of psychological understanding and healing, I encourage you to join our community. Subscribe right now to make sure you don't miss the next video where we dive into the psychology of setting boundaries and protecting the real, unmasked you. Letting go of "I'm fine" is not an act of weakness. It is the most powerful act of self-love you can perform. It's the day you stop being an actor and start being real. And trust me, real is always more beautiful than perfect.